Hello. Well, I'm Tim Mendes. Welcome to After Hours, where authors go to unwind. Tonight, I am joined by N.M. Brown. Natalie, how are you doing?
Great, great. It's really nice to be here. I was so excited when I heard that you were starting this up a while back. I'm so happy to be
No,
here.
no, excellent. You're joining us all the way from Florida. You're on the coast, aren't you?
Yes, right on the East Coast. The ocean, I think, is about not even 5 minutes from the house. Just a little drive over the bridge and you're right there.
Nice. Yeah, I've got the sea right out my window as well, but it's it's a lot colder.
Oh, I can imagine. It
Oh
is
yeah,
nice to hear though at night, going to sleep with it. I miss living on the beach. It was so nice.
yeah. It's a nice sound, isn't it? It's kind of like you get them people that have the metronomes next to the bed to help them
Yes.
sleep.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah, exactly.
I know
Exactly. It's
exactly what
great.
you're talking about.
Yeah. So how are you doing at the minute? I haven't really spoken to you in a while. So
I'm just busy. I'm about to later on tonight. I'm about to have to do 36 bar chocolate eating
I
contest for
saw that.
charity.
I saw that. Yeah, tell me more about that. How are you going
It's
to do that without
amazing. I don't know. I don't know.
36?
I seem to think that I have an advantage because like I love chocolate, but after tonight, I probably won't like it
No,
at all.
you're
Like
probably going to hate it.
no. Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Well, this amazing author came out with a book called "Undeath by Chocolate," and J.C. Dedman on Dedman's Tome is doing this as kind of like a way to like raise awareness for the book and stuff like
Oh,
that.
nice.
So I'm excited, and if I win, he gets to pay me back for the for the chocolate, and then I get $50. So that's awesome.
Fair enough. That sounds
Yeah,
good to me. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
You say
Pay
it's
for
for
my doctor's
charity.
visit the next day.
Yeah.
The next day.
Yeah, that'd be death to
Yeah,
me. I've
no,
got type 2 diabetes. That'd kill me.
my husband does too. I thought of it and I was like, wouldn't it be terrible if he pulled, because he's a great guy, but kind of kooky. Like, you never know what he's going to do. I said, wouldn't it be terrible if he like pulled a last minute switcheroo? And our partners,
Oh,
I said, no, mine couldn't do that. Mine would
no.
die. Like, legit. Like, it's not funny, but like, he would. But
Yeah,
I looked it
yeah.
up, and for an average healthy person with no sugar problems, it takes 87 bars of chocolate to kill you.
Right.
So, yeah. Because all the caffeine, like, it's like doing a whole bunch of stuff at the same time,
Yeah.
smoking a carton of cigarettes, down in like 24 packs worth of Coca Cola. Just all
Yeah,
this
yeah,
stuff
yeah.
hits you at the same time because the chocolate,
Yeah.
crazy,
That's
crazy.
bonkers. So what, you said it was for charity or something?
Yes, to raise money, people donate.
Yeah, don't say
I
diabetes
don't,
awareness.
right? No, no, definitely, definitely, definitely not. No. Um, I'm not too like knowledgeable about like where everything goes.
Hmm.
But I do know that people can donate, and it's something that the author is passionate about.
Right, I get you.
And he
I
this
get
book
you.
it's a young adult novel, so that's awesome because that's something that's normally not. I don't,
No, it's a
I
good
don't
point.
do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
No.
we've written from Mother Ghost, but that was a challenge. But this
Mine
is
got
this is
rejected for that
completely
because it mine got
no.
rejected for that. Yeah. Because it
One
was
of mine did no. Two of mine did,
right.
and
It was a story that actually became in A Course in the Forest.
well, there you go. Everything happens for a
Yeah,
reason. I
yeah,
think it was a
exactly.
much
Well, I basically I
better fit
put
for
out all
that.
the bits. I put out all the bits that had been cut from it to make it PG. I put them back. It was just
Perfect.
I cut and I cut and I cut and it still wasn't PG enough. So,
Yeah, I got rejected twice. It was really, really sad because I have more kids than she does, first of all. Second of all, Melody's my best friend. So I was like, she's
oh
like,
no,
oh my God, Natalie, you can't. She's
that's a
like,
bit.
I love you so much. You can't do this. You cannot have kids reading this. And I'm like, It was a good story. It was a story
Yeah.
about a kid tried to somebody tried to abduct a kid when he was with his older brother, and he was like
Mm,
deathly afraid of cockroaches. He would scream every time he saw one.
mm.
So as the brother came back and saw that the guy was leading the child off, he's like, "Hey," he calls his name. I don't remember what the hell it was. Um, there's a roach, and the little boy screamed, and then the kidnapper like let him go, freaks out, looks all around, gets in his car, and speeds away. I thought it was
That's
perfect,
that's
but
brilliant.
apparently not so much. Like I
Well, I
don't
thought
know.
I was. I mean, I wrote in a little subtext bit about like because I made it instead of being a bunch of idiots, like drunken idiots doing a wassailing prank. I made it a kid who'd he'd been in detention and he didn't want his parents to find out, so he took a shortcut down a cut that had these two evil trees at the end of it. I thought that was fine, but apparently trees trying to tear off a child's limbs and saying hungry isn't suitable.
Well, I liked that one because I actually spent quite a bit of time in detention in high school, but it was always for the same thing. I was always late. Like it's
Oh,
still that way to this day. Like
I
obviously, I
was
made
just a
it on
pain in
time
the
here,
ass.
but
I
like
was
you've
always
seen
in the
me, I'm late all the time. Always in detention, sitting there. I read like Catcher in the Rye like 5 different times in detention. Like I will always associate that book with a quiet room and a desk that's attached to the little chair.
Is you know what's funny? I always associate with detention is Seamus Bloody Heaney, the poet. I always associate Seamus Sodding Heaney with my with my detentions because I was always given it. It's just like I don't even like Seamus Heaney. It's like give me some
I like
decent
that.
bloody poetry, you know?
We're true authors. Even then we just didn't know it. Well, I
This
didn't
is
know
it.
it. I,
No, I. Well, the thing is, I mean, I've written kind of all my life, but it's always been as just like something I do when I'm like goofing off. It was like 'cause I was a chef, so I used to do it. I used to write stories about the people I worked with, and
oh
then
yeah, I remember you told me you were quite prestigious chef.
yeah, I was
Like
yeah, it
yeah,
was,
you told me about that. I just remembered that. Hit me like a bolt of lightning.
yeah, I yeah, and then one because I've got this spinal condition, so I couldn't do it anymore. So I was kind of like, well, and I was just reading something and just thought. And I ended up, it was Colour Out of Space, Lovecraft. And I was just like, I've got a really good idea that I could do something, but a very British take on it, which is kind of what I do with things. I just look at something and go, I'm going to British that. and, so what was it got you into it? How did you sort of find your way into the writing spectrum of things?
Well, mine was it's kind of lazy. I'm going to be truthful. In my high school, you could take one of two paths. You could take band and creative writing, or you could
Yeah.
take athletics and phys ed and all this other stuff. And I was like, nah. Like I just sat at the back of the class, like, you know, yeah,
I
you
was,
understand what I'm talking about.
I mean, I've been in quite a lot of bands over the years and things like that, and I did the same exact same damn thing that you did. But we don't really have a thing for the creative writing. I took drama and music,
That's
and what I used
cool.
to do, they used to make you do physical education once a week, and I hated it. I hated it with a passion. Even though I used to swim, I used to swim to quite a good level, and I also used to be a wrestler. But I hated that all running around in the wet, kicking a football about. It's just like, so I used to use this as an excuse. I used to say, "Oh, it's PE next." I'll be like, "I'm sorry, I've got the timpani practice," or
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
bullshit, you know. It's just like,
Yeah, like it was so stupid. Like mine, okay, I was, young typical high school American girl. I would get all gussied up in the morning, get my best clothes on, and ninth grade, I was required to take like how you were required to do it once a week. I was
yeah,
required one 9-week period. and then I was done for the rest of the year, just 9 weeks.
All
And it
right.
was first thing in the morning. So they wanted me to go, and then I had 5 minutes to get off the bus, go get changed, get all yucky, and then 2 minutes to get changed back. And then I was too vain to do it. Like, I'm not that way now, but I was very, very like,
Everybody is when they're a teenager. I mean,
yeah.
everybody is vain when they're a teenager. I'm sorry, I don't care who you are. But everybody looks in the mirror in the morning and goes, "Oh yeah," when
Oh
they're a
yeah,
teenager.
I totally did. Like listening to like Silverchair and Power Man
Oh,
5000.
nice.
And I don't know, I imagine that they were everywhere in the world, but you remember Jinko jeans?
No. Oh, yeah. Oh, yes, I do. Yeah, 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 yeah,
The
yeah.
legs, huge, huge, huge. My
Yeah.
dad used to call them spit sweepers.
Spit sweepers.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. I love that.
You
Well, you
gotta
see,
take those off
was
before you come
I
in
was
the
always.
house. You're tracking all kinds of crap in here. So I loved it so much.
That's brilliant. Well, you see, I was never. I went, but most of my friends were like that. But I was always pretty much exactly the same as you see me now. I was the weirdo outcast guy that sat at the back of the class, making sarcastic comments and getting kicked out. And I was the your sort of your typical goth teenager at that point in the early 90s. Uh, yeah, so I was all about Depeche Mode and Ministry and Nine Inch Nails and all this kind of stuff, man. And I was just like, yeah, fuck you.
Yeah. Yeah, I was the same, but I graduated high school in 2005. So I was in school
But the
from
thing is,
'01 to '05.
right,
And
your years are completely different to ours as well. It's like what you call high school. Uh, I can't work it out. Because our high school is younger than yours. Your high school is what we'd call sixth form or college.
oh,
Yeah, because I mean, I left high school at 16. Um,
well, that sounds fancy. That's posh. I love that. Formal college. Oh
yeah,
my
yeah,
God, I wish they did that here. So many
yeah.
kids would like, oh, no, we have our high school is what freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, so ninth, 10th, 11th, and 12th, which is
Mm.
like 15,
Yeah, well, it
16,
kind of
17, 18.
combines. It kind of combines our because we have primary school, infant school, junior school, high school, um, sixth form, and then college. Yeah, and I basically I bailed. At the end of high school, I was just like, I'm going to catering college. Bye. And I did. I left. So, to be honest, I pretty much left when I was before the end of the term because I managed to get. I mean, there was a thing back then at the sort of time in the mid '90s where you could get what they called a city and guilds, which is like an apprenticeship, and I got
Oh,
that
that's
in.
nice.
Yeah, and I got that in a bakery because I had no desire to go and study because I knew what I'd do. I'd just get smashed and not do anything. I wanted to earn some cash because I mean I wanted to buy records, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I've never really
Well,
thought the subtle differences in the US and the UK. And it's like you said earlier about the time thing. It's something I'd never really considered, but there is a lot
yeah,
more.
yeah. I always feel so silly because I'll be talking to one of my friends because I have a lot of you friends in the
Yeah.
UK, and Australia is so easy for me to understand because it's always 12 hours
Mm.
ahead of me, which is weird. I talked to my friend Grant Hinton and I'm like, hey, how's it in the future,
Yeah.
Mr. Future Man?
Well, they're in the past to me. No, no, they're not. They're in the future. It's currently, well, when I do my readings, I know it's 6 in the morning where Dean from Black Hair is. That's
Yeah.
that's the only way I know. It's just like I know it's
Is
6 a.m.
that how I know that that's how we met as colleagues, friends, and professionals, but is that where you got started with your publishing? I know that you've talked about it before, but like, what did you do before Black Hair Press?
No. The first, this something. One of the reasons I wanted to have you on is because the first publication I was ever featured in, I mean, I had a few bits and pieces on like online journal-y things, but that was mostly like fan fiction. And I used to do like a lot of Doctor Who fan fiction and things like that. But it's a good way of starting. You learn how to
Oh, absolutely.
make a
It's very,
plot.
very popular too. People love that shit. They eat it
Yeah,
up. My husband loves it. Loves it.
yeah. But my first one, it was actually my second acceptance, and they came in the space of a week, was Metamorphosis Cube, as Death and Butterflies, which is yours. So, yeah, you are the first person to ever publish me. So there we go.
Oh, I
Yeah,
love that so
yeah,
much. That is so amazing to me. I just actually signed that book. Like I had my first I mean, it was only for one person, but I'd never
yeah.
had it happen before. One of my
Yeah.
husband's friends came over and he saw it and he's like, "Oh my God, what is that?" And I explained it to him and I let him flip through it. He's like, "Can you sign this for me? And can I
Nice.
keep it?" I was like, "Yeah, here you go."
Yeah, you
Like,
can. Yeah. Do you want 5?
absolutely. Yeah, like great. That's
Give them to your
amazing.
friends.
Hmm.
Yeah, no. So the thing is, I'm eternally grateful to you for that, because the other one that I got accepted to around that time, that took 6 months to then for anything to happen. So that was my first introduction to the author kind of world, the indie author world. Was that group that you made up? I didn't know a single person when I joined that. You know, the one you did for Death and Butterflies, and
Oh
I've
my
actually,
gosh.
yeah, and I've actually put in I've written like people like interviews, and they've asked me about things. I've always cited that as a really big help, because I see a lot of authors having really shitty experiences, like their first time published, and I had an amazing experience, because I went on there and there was all these lovely bloody people like yourself, like yourself, and that's how I met Michelle River, and how I found out about Erie River and things like that.
Yes.
And through that is how I discovered, and through people on that is how I discovered Black Hair and things like this. And it was all,
That
and
is
a lot of it
so,
was
I didn't know that. Like that touches my
really,
heart. That makes me so
yeah.
happy. Like you know more people than I do now.
It's
You're
because I'm a
way up there.
gobshite.
No, no, no. But
I just talk at people.
a, a lot of people are well, not like my friends will understand because I'm friends with a lot of them now. But that
Mm,
Death and Butterflies was the first anthology brainchild that I ever had. And I brought it up a year before to an
mm.
author group, and they kind of just pushed me away, like, oh, yeah, no, no. Like, I had to fight and fight and fight, like, not with them, but with myself,
Yeah.
because that's
Then
why I ended up, yeah, yeah. And
the
I felt
self
so
doubt
bad because I was
monster. Yeah.
new.
Yeah.
I was so new, and I hate saying this, but it's true. I'm sure like Michelle and Melody would say the same thing. I was a girl. I'm a lady. So I came into the big boy room and I sat down and I put my briefcase on the table
Yeah.
and I'm
I
like,
mean,
hey, I want to do this. They're
I mean,
like, oh, you're so cute.
I've never really noticed that, but I tend a lot of this kind of thing I never really see, because I'm in my own little bubble, but I do see it on some of these groups. I do see there is some misogynistic wankers out there, and I do kind of see it, but I've never experienced it myself, because I won't stand for it.
No, no, I have always been treated very, very well by
Good.
all of
Yeah.
the gentlemen in the writing community. Like
Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely perfect. Just for some reason, the numbers, I think I would say that it was about a 68% male to
Right.
32%. I hope to fucking God I got my math right on that. Once
I
I
ain't gonna
did an
count
interview, I did an interview with Christopher Holtman, and I
it.
listened to it the next week, and I gave him figures that added up to 108%. And I was like, oh my God.
Well, you're all right on this one, because I am absolutely shit with numbers. I'm terrible. I'm terrible. I seriously, I have to use my fingers to add things up. I'm terrible with numbers.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's absolutely insane.
yeah.
Um,
The thing is, I don't
but
see that now because I'm really happy about this. It's like I know a few years ago I read a thing about when they started doing a thing about women in horror, uh, and I was just like, good, because there's some. I mean, one of my favorite authors, my favorite current authors, well, a couple of them. There's Anne K. Schrader and Lucy Snyder, and I'm a big fan of Caitlin Kiernan, a massive fan of Caitlin Kiernan. And I was just like, good, they're finally getting recognition. But I don't see that now because sometimes I'm outnumbered in that. There's a lot of very good women writers. I think it must be a really
yes,
exciting time for female horror writers. I don't know about other genres, but there's so many great ones. I mean, that I've worked with. There's some
oh
really
yes,
great
yes.
stuff.
It is really, really nice for us.
Yeah.
Now, if you go over to the fantasy genre,
Yeah.
it's the other way around. And of course, there's exceptions to every rule. But
Of course. Yeah.
I personally, like, I started out January of 2019, and things have progressed so well. I mean, when I entered into everything, I'm sure that there were female publishers. I just didn't know who they were.
Of
And
course.
then I
Yeah.
met Rochelle B. Sortira Press, then
Yeah.
Rochelle River, Erie River Company,
Yeah.
and then me and Mel. And then there's all these amazing women that
It's
are
outstanding stuff.
coming into the spotlight.
Yeah. It's good. It's great. I mean, I love it because there's some phenomenal writers out there, and yeah, great, like really good
Now,
stuff. So, how did you make the jump from being a writer to publishing?
well,
Was it the
I
Death and
wrote.
Butterflies thing?
No, no, that just was a happy coincidence. That
Right.
made me the ball rolled right into my court on that. Like, and I was like, all right, like that's fine because everybody fought me on publishing anyway, so I'll just do it myself.
Yeah.
And then my editor got sick, and you all right?
Oh yeah, I just knocked off a couple of my fake candles off the
Okay,
back.
it looks like a bat fell from the sky. And
Oh,
he's
it's
just like, oh, it's just another day. Fuck you, bat.
yes.
Like, go off, go off. And I'm like, but but the editor for Death and Butterflies had gotten sick, and I had to end up doing it myself.
Right.
So it was a really, really big learning
Mm.
experience. But publishing wasn't something I ever thought that I would do, like ever.
Mm.
I posted to Newsleap, and it's this Reddit, it's like this writing forum. There's a whole bunch of them. There's like Wattpad and stuff like that. Well, this one has a writing forum called No Sleep. It has 13 million
Yeah.
members and stuff like that. I started writing on there because I started reading on there, and I listened to the
Mm.
podcast that featured authors that came from there. So I wrote this story called Thank You for Calling the Brighter Future Suicide Hotline. I was really, really blocked. I couldn't think of anything, and I was in that mindset. I was still young, like early into it, and I was in that mindset. If I
Yeah.
don't post something to Reddit, I will die. What's up, baby? I'm doing an interview. Are you okay? Okay, go bye-bye. I'll be out in a little bit. Love you. Sorry, that was my mini. He's just like his mom. Like just like his mom. Poor
Nice.
baby. He's fine.
Yeah, is
He's
you all right?
probably just coming in to tell me the sky's blue. Mom, the sky's blue. Nice. I'm trying to do something. But I needed to write something. I'm like, if I don't put something on Reddit, people are going to forget who I am, and I'm going to become, dusty old bones full of green
Yeah.
dust, and then my career's going to be
Yeah.
over
I'm
with.
yesterday's news. Yeah.
Yes, yes. So I went on my author page and I was like, hey, what do I write about? Tell me, somebody, like, help give me some ideas. and I had about 7 ideas, and one of them was a customer call center, and I was like, okay, I could do that.
Hmm.
And so I went out on my porch and I lit up a cigarette and I turned on voice to text and I just had this conversation with myself.
Hmm.
That was like a very, very weird, just odd conversation. And I edited it and turned it in, and it ended up, I think my phone was going off like every half an hour, like ping, 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 ping,
Nice.
ping, like comments. Yeah, it took off. It became its own universe. It has a, I'm not a part of it, like as much as I would like to be because of the kids,
Hmm.
but it has a fan Discord, it has a telephone number, all that stuff.
Oh,
I'm gonna let
cool.
you say what you've wanted to say
No, no, because I was
because
just saying, I've seen on your author page, there's a book, isn't there? Bright.
yes, yeah, that's how it all got started.
Right.
Somebody wanted to, I wouldn't say, I was afraid that somebody was going to try to gatekeep and copyright the series because somebody,
Right.
and it's not about that, like it's freedom of expression or whatever, but
Yeah.
one of the members of the writing team, because it ended up turning into 10 people. I wrote the first story, then I teamed up with 3 other people initially, and we wrote more stories. And then by the end of it, we had 26 stories altogether, 10 authors. Well, one of the authors was concerned and they were like, I think I'm going to buy the copyright for this. And I was like, oh, that's sweet. No,
Yeah. No.
no, that's,
Yeah.
that's my, that's mine.
It's
Oh,
your
it's
baby.
okay. I'll
Yeah.
pay for it. Yeah, no.
No.
So I
No.
basically I had to round up the money really fast. I told my husband everything that was going on. I rounded up the money really fast and filed for an LLC.
Yeah.
And everything that I publish and the authors that I publish are protected from copyright theft within that LLC.
Yeah.
I learned a whole bunch of shit like so fast that I didn't know anything about, like the
Just by
logistics of author
necessity.
law.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's insane, but that's how I started publishing.
Yeah.
And I
Right.
was just going to do
Brilliant.
that one book and quit, and then it just led on and on and on and on and
Yeah.
on, and then here we are today. I think like 8 publications in, and yeah, it's
Yeah. Because
going pretty good.
I've been in a couple of yours. I was because you're like I'm never quite sure. You're like a nocturnal because you're nocturnal sirens, aren't you?
Yes, yeah, I'll explain that story. There's a reason for it.
Yeah.
I was Suicide House Publishing, but because of Mother Ghost Grimm, yeah, Melody helped me format, and I was like, "Can you do this for me every time, please? I love you." And she's like, "Yeah, I'll help you. It's
Right.
fine. I'll help you edit, format, all that stuff." And I'm like, "Okay, you can just work with me. Like we can do this together." And
Yeah.
she's like, "Okay, well,
But we can't. PG can't
yeah,
do Suicide House. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, we cannot be
I'm
releasing a
glad.
book, especially not around September."
I'm so glad you've cleared that up because that's confused the hell out of me from since the time because that was Suicide House and then Scary Snippet Sibling Edition was Nocturnal Sirens and I'm kind of like, but it's the same. Is that really?
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I hated to do it because it does cause a lot of confusion. It's always good to like stick with one thing, but like I had to do it.
I
Like,
get you. You know, I mean, especially if she's going to be putting out the Mother Ghost stuff.
yeah, that was like her dream, and
Yeah,
she means so much to me that
yeah.
I was like, all right, I was honored to do something with
I
her.
don't actually know her as
So
yet. I haven't really had any interaction with her apart from the sort of like not really PG. Sorry.
she's she is very well. She had like a lot of stuff going on. She lives in Washington. So first, COVID hit there really, really big
Mm,
before it spread to the rest of us. And
right.
now there's fires everywhere where she's at. And she just can't, like one thing after another. And I feel so bad.
Bloody
And
hell.
she got pregnant shortly after we got together for Nocturnal Sirens Publishing House.
Hmm.
And she just had a baby, and he's so perfect and amazing. But
Hey.
I'm more like outgoing than she is.
Yeah.
Cheers.
We'll drink to that. Well,
Yeah.
I'll drink to that.
I have wine, but it's dry and it tastes so gross, and I don't have any ginger ale, so I was like, I'm just gonna
Oh
smoke.
no.
That's fine.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna
yeah.
smoke. But yeah, she's not very, and sometimes it's a very good thing
Mm.
because my opinions and my mouth tend to get me into trouble, and everybody's like act shocked, and I'm like, no, man, like it's pretty bad. I like, I guess I'm pretty good at hiding it, but I do like a lot of shameful. I just did something yesterday that made me want to stick my head in the sand and have somebody concrete around it.
Thing is,
Like,
this is what I've always got the impression. We're very similar people because I've always got my foot in my mouth. I don't know when to shut up when I really should. I don't know. It's just and things just kind of go. And the next thing I know, I'm hiding in the corner going, "Oh God."
yeah, I will be on the phone, like somebody will Facebook call me, or like I'll be on a professional call or something, and I'll say something, and my husband will look at me across the room, and I'll just be like, and like, I'm like, oh my God, why didn't you stop me? And he's like, honey, nobody can stop you. It's gonna come out.
That's
Like,
so
that's
familiar
it.
because my other half, Linda, she's exactly the same. She's in the cartoons you got the good demon and the bad demon. She's the good one. The bad
Yeah,
demon's me.
yeah.
Because I don't know when to shut up. I really don't.
There are a lot of similarities. I actually went to culinary school
Mm.
immediately after high school as well, but I just out. Don't be like me, kids. Don't. Don't be like me. But I did go.
Yeah.
I didn't make it past. I don't know if it's called that there, but for me it was called Garde Manger 1. The
Mm.
everything has its place class. Like you learned like cold salads and dressings and emulsions and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I didn't make it. I
It's
didn't
not
make it
cool.
past that.
The thing is, I did mine. So, like, I did mine with the city and guild. So I did most of mine in house. I did mine in a
Yeah,
restaurant. And I did what they call a day release, whereas I worked like 5 days a week, and then I went to college for one day, and that was basically so I could talk to my assessor, and because I had a mentor where I worked, and he was this brilliant guy, like, no nonsense, no bullshit, brilliant. And now it's more like, so I saw guys around the same time. I was like, well, I'm going down this route, and they were like, oh no, I'm going to go to college and do it like that. And they took like 4 years to get to a good point.
yeah.
I was a sous chef within 2 years, which was because I worked
That's
like 7 days a week.
amazing.
I worked like 7 days a week, blah blah blah, and people leave and all the rest of it. A dead man's boots.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, restaurant turnover is fucking insane. It's like one of the highest turnover industries like in the world.
yeah, it's
And it doesn't
bonkers.
make any
Yeah.
sense. People go in there thinking it's going to be easy, and it is if you know what the fuck you're doing and if you like what the fuck you're doing. Like,
Yeah, which I
sorry.
did. That was the thing. And the thing is,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm one of these. It's like with writing. I've never done any formal like writing courses or anything like that. I mean, the last thing I'd done was English at GCSE level at school, and I just thought, well, I've got ideas, and as long as you've got ideas, I think you can write because you can learn everything else. And I soak things up like a sponge. Um, and people like always it's always the excuse that people have, isn't it? Oh, I don't know grammar and I don't know that. It's like you can learn
Yeah.
it.
Absolutely. Even without like any kind of education, like what I applied to the No Sleep podcast when I first started writing,
Hmm.
and the head of it, Olivia White, she's like, okay, look, this is my advice to you. Read all of the indie horror that you can. Listen to all of the indie podcasts that are, because like, you could submit to like Creepy Pod and Chilling Tales for Dark Nights, like all these different podcasts and stuff.
Hmm.
Um, listen to it, and you'll get your best research that way. You'll learn a lot about dialogue by reading and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that's,
I mean,
that's a lot of what I did.
that's the thing. I mean, I've always been a voracious reader. I've always read and read a lot. So I've
Yes.
always kind of, yeah, and especially, yeah, you need to read to write. You need to be able to, because that's how you pick it up. Like how to, because obviously when I decided I was going to give it a shot, I was like, oh, I can't remember. Where does the comma go? You know what I mean? But because I was reading as well, I was just like, right, got you. Right, I got it. Next day, okay, I've got that bit. Now, semicolons. Where the fuck do semicolons go?
Semicolons were the bane of my existence all the way up until this year. So I literally wrote for 11 months using them improperly. I used them like commas. Like I was passing them bitches out left and right. Like, here you go, here you go, here you go. And then finally Adam Davies is like, the purpose of a semicolon is to put two sentences together, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, I thought it was for a pause. He's like, no.
I was doing the same thing. I was using them where I should have used an ellipsis as like a dot, dot, dot.
Yes.
Or that is my next phase. Do you know what I still haven't figured out? And Dean loves them at the Black Hair Press. The fucking M dash. I
don't even know what that is.
I was so glad you said that because because he uses them in black. It's that, the long dash that they have instead of, it can be in place of semicolons, it can be in place of an ellipsis, it can be in place of.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, the big dashy thing. I have no idea how to do that. I don't even know how to do it on the keyboard. I know it's got something to do with the tab, but apart from that.
I use it, but I use it wrong. I use it when somebody interrupts somebody. Oh God! See, we always have things to learn. Yeah. We're doing great though. Like where we are, like
exactly.
We made it this far.
Huzzah for editing. That's something I love about.
My phone is ringing, and whoever it is, I don't want to speak to them, and I'm so sorry. It's my kid's school. Hush. Okay, we're back.
You're fine back. We're fine. That's why I'm so glad with the Erie River. Alana Robertson-Webb makes me look like such a better writer than I am because her editing is superb.
Yes, she does amazing.
Yeah, really, really good. Like some of the best editing I've had, to be honest. Yeah.
This might bite me in the butt, but I'm pretty sure that I was the first one to submit to them, like, period.
Right.
Yeah. I think so, yeah.
Yeah. So what was their first one again? Was it Forgotten Ones, or was it the, I can't remember. I mean, well, I came quite late, but
they started to take submissions for it came okay. I was the first one to submit for It Came from the Forest, or Calls from the Forest. I'll say that.
I was quite early on that myself. I was quite early on that myself, and the reason I knew about it was because, like we were saying about the Death and Butterflies thing, because Michelle or Alana had posted about it, and I went, "Ooh, forests, I can do that." Yes. I've got an idea for that. So yeah.
It's amazing. It's like we're horror authors, and you wouldn't think that it would be this way, but Michelle and I, we talk every week, like talk with our voices. Alana,
that's really rare in this time, in this day and age.
Yeah, she sent me mail. Like we're all friends, and all of the men that I've met have just been like so badass looking, but so nice. Like respectful and nice, and like just wouldn't hurt anybody or go out of their way to fuck anybody up, just it's amazing. I love it.
But the thing is that I get the same vibes out of this that I get with the goth scene, because I mean, it's like a lot of people get the misconception. They look at us, a bunch of guys walking around in makeup and weird clothes and all the rest of it, listening to evil fuck sounding music. They think we're all like psycho bastards. We're not. They're actually the most inclusive bunch of people I've ever met. We don't care. You know, if you're cool, we're cool.
Hmm.
And I get the same vibe with the horror thing. And that's one of the things I really like about it, is that everybody, I mean, there's the odd exception here and there. I've met a couple of wankers, but you get that in every group,
Oh,
you know, you do.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
you get a couple of
I've met.
douchebags in every group. And, but on the whole, like 95% of people who I've met in the indie horror world have been absolutely bloody lovely. You know,
Yes,
they've been really
yes.
nice. Yeah, really
There's actually
supportive,
there's a
enthusiastic.
fella I would like for you to meet, and I don't know when your paths would cross, but I hope that it happens soon. I think it's interesting because he lives in the UK, and he used to be a wrestler. His name is TJ Lee.
Oh, I think I've seen him. I think I've seen the name somewhere, but I've never.
I
Yeah,
share a bunch of his stuff, like when
yeah,
he has successes and stuff. But yeah, you said wrestling, and I was like, oh
yeah,
shit, there's another one. Like,
yeah.
I
Yeah,
think that
well,
is so cool.
I was training. I like when I left school and everything. I was training to go down the pro wrestling route. Uh, but I fell off a motorbike and smashed my knee into oblivion, and I ended up with a plate in one ankle and pins in my left knee. And then a few years later, I got to the point where I was like physically strong enough and all the rest of it to give it another crack. And I had another, I can't remember which one this was, but it was another stupid bloody injury. It's just, it wasn't meant to be. You know,
I'm so sorry.
it's all right. I mean, I had a great laugh doing it. And I still
Yeah,
talk to the boy. I still love it. I still go to the events. I still talk to the boys and all that. I mean, it's just one of them things. It was just, but I'm very much like that. If something doesn't work out, I'll just sort of fuck it. I'll do something else. You know, you can't. I mean, you can only sort of suck lemons for so long, can't you? You've got to.
yeah,
This is something
yeah.
I would say to people about rejection, because I see some really nice people on these things, and I really want to like grab them and give them a big hug and just go, look, don't worry about it. It happens. I mean, I've got so many fucking rejections that I could wallpaper my flat with them. You know what I mean? You get
Yeah,
them.
I do too.
Nine
I do
times,
too.
yeah, and 9 times out of the 10, it's not because of quality at all. It's to do with fit. Like,
Exactly. There could be somebody else. There could be like five other people that had the same kind of concept or theme. I mean, it could be anything. Like,
yeah, yeah. Or even
it's
the
not.
publisher doesn't like
About a
your
month ago,
style. You
I
know? Yeah. It's Zoe Zoltom. She said a
yes,
while ago. She said
about a
something a
month
while
ago.
ago.
Yes,
She said if you don't if you're a writer and you don't expect rejections, it's like a boxer not expecting to be punched in the face.
yes,
And I just burst out laughing at that. I thought that was nail on the head. Yeah, it's
yeah.
about the
That
people.
is that's another publishing company, Bloodsong Books. That's a good one. She
Yeah,
actually
I
has
like Zoe. Yeah,
inspired. Yeah, she's inspired me so much,
yeah.
so much. Like
Well, we have
when I
very
first
similar
started
taste
out.
in music, so we've got on quite well. So yeah, I really like Zoe. But she comes out with some crackers. Uh,
Yes.
she does come out with some stuff that just makes me laugh. Yeah. Right. Before we go any further to the beautiful people at home, just because we got about a quarter of an hour left, which is all cool. But I know how quickly these things run away with us. So
I
what I'll do,
know.
like we've been talking about a lot of Natalie's stuff. If you want to check out her Amazon author page, it is viewauthor.at /N_M_Brown. Yep. You can also find a shameless plug time. You can also find her by going on mine and finding Death and Butterflies and then clicking on that and buying it and then clicking on her name. That's another way of finding her.
Yes, that's an amazing way. That's my favorite way.
Yeah, exactly. Also, you were talking about your Reddit, and that's what reminded me, because you've got your own Reddit. I don't even know how it works. Have you got your own profile-y thing or something? Or is it a page?
Yes.
Or...
Yeah, it's Reddit profile. Sorry, I tried to put on fake eyelashes. Like my husband, I'm like, okay, I need to put on makeup because every one of my pictures I look like a mom. And so I have this magnetic eyeliner, and my husband tried to put it on and tried to put on these lashes, and they were like this. He's like, honey, you can't do that. You look like you have two crows' asses on your eye. They're like sticking together still. And that's why I'm like, I look like I'm on Quaaludes or something. Okay. What we
Sorry, I love that. I've not heard that one before. We usually say spider legs, but oh yeah, crow's arses.
Oh God, I'm glad he didn't say that one.
You've got to give him a high five from me for that. Give him a high five from me.
I will. He's amazing.
Yeah,
but it's just Reddit is nice, and I hate to say it. I'm sorry I cut you off. It feels so good. Oh my God.
Don't worry about it.
I like Reddit because it, out of everything that I do except publishing, as an author, it makes me the most money. I could write a story, a narrator for a YouTube channel or a podcast will see that story, reach out to me, be like, hey, I really like your story. I will give you $30 if I can read it. And I'm like, yeah, absolutely.
See, I don't even know about any of this stuff. I'm as green as bloody grass, mate. I have no idea any of this shit. So you know what? Yeah, you wait for it. Tomorrow, Tim Mendes is going to be all over Reddit. I don't know.
Yes, it's amazing. Like amazing. Yeah. I actually I do it too. The Creepy Podcast. I am one of the scouts, and he pays me to go on there and ask for stories and obtain permissions, and I have the Creepy Podcast. Because a while back, one of the downsides of Reddit, I'm just going to say this now, you'll probably, hopefully you won't experience it, but I'm sure you'll see it because there's announcements on it on No Sleep. Narrators will go on your profile and narrate your work and like not credit you or anything like that.
I've seen things about that already. Yeah, that's one of the reasons I haven't done it as yet, because I get very angry about that kind of thing.
It hasn't happened to me too often. It happens. The last time it happened to me was last month, and I know people are going to see this. Love you, people. You're my people, and I love you.
It's all right. The sound's cut out anyway.
The guy that did it was so famous that there's literally nothing.
Hang on, it's all gone weird. Wait a minute. Yeah.
Like everybody.
Yeah, stop a minute. It's all gone very strange.
Went to as soon as I told them it was like, oh, yeah, it has. You're frozen. I'm still moving. Am I frozen on yours? Like, oh.
Well, the thing is, you were frozen on mine.
We're both live. Nope.
Yeah, no.
I don't think it.
The internet's fine here.
You're frozen. I'm still frozen. I don't think it's me. I have full internet.
So do I. That's really weird. That's all right. It was kind of creepy there for a minute. I'll just jiggle my mouse around a bit. Come on. Is that working?
I don't know.
Very strange. I want to bang my head on the desk in a minute. That's a great face that you've got frozen there. That's brilliantly funny. Let me just click on it. Yeah, I'm not frozen.
Yeah, you froze, mate. I'm frozen on yours.
Oh, you were frozen. I can hear you just about.
I'm not. You're in midair right now. I just heard you.
Yeah, I can.
You're not frozen anymore. You're alive now.
Hey,
okay, I think I don't know whose end that was on, but I'm so sorry if it was
Oh
mine.
no, don't worry about it. I mean, it's a long way from here to Florida.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And Florida is I think you saw me the other day. Somebody said something about Florida. It might have been you, and I was like, no, Florida
Yeah.
sucks.
It
Pick
was.
somewhere else.
It was about a location for something.
Yes,
Yeah, and it wasn't me who
yeah,
said it. I said about like New England or Washington State, because of all the trees and that.
yes.
Somebody
That's
said, "What about
perfect. I
Florida? 'Cause
agreed
it's
with
swamp."
that.
Yeah, your comment made me laugh.
Swamps are the most natural, innocent thing that we have in Florida. Like I wouldn't. Oh my God.
Yeah, for some reason you're frozen on a really scary face. I can hear you, but you haven't moved.
Maybe my face is just frozen.
Maybe
Maybe
you're
I'm
just
doing it on
frozen.
purpose.
Yeah, hang on.
It's a medical condition. No, I'm just kidding. I'm moving. Like I swear I'm moving. I don't.
Well, this is it.
Oh,
I mean, I'm moving. I don't know about how I am on your end, but
you're just fine for me.
yeah,
You're
this
just
is
fine. Just
really,
I don't
really
know. I mean,
strange.
I looked at Medusa and that was it, man. Like
Yeah,
I don't
that's
know.
it. Anyway, we're rapidly approaching the end anyway. So what I'll say is, because we were talking about Natalie's Reddit, so yeah, check it out. I will be checking it out because honestly, it's something I know bugger all about. The tinyurl.com/, that's bunny B03. That's a big B and a big B, two big B's. Uh, idiot.
Big bees, bees, bees,
Big
bees.
bees. There's a story in that for another. Oh, that
Yep.
reminds me. You should so do like centipedes and cadavers or something else.
Am I moving? Am I live?
No,
Am I
you're
alive?
still frozen. I'll tell you
Okay.
what we'll do.
Well,
What we'll do is we'll wrap this up because it's coming up to the time limit. It's going to start going on this anyway. So what we'll do is we'll wrap this up and then we'll have you back because we've still got a shitload of stuff to speak about.
oh,
But
absolutely.
this is always how
Absolutely. We
these
haven't
things
even
work. Yeah, we haven't even scratched
Yes.
the surface. Oh, this one,
Yes.
got this format. We just talk, and it's not like piece of paper and questions, and I just
I like that.
yeah,
I like that. I can get too much in my head when I know like exactly what I'm supposed to, script it. I get too in my
mm,
head. This is very,
yeah,
very nice. I can't wait to do it again. And I'm
excellent.
excited. Michelle's next, isn't she?
She is, yeah. And Michelle River on next time.
Yay!
Yeah, that's going to be fun. Yeah.
All
I,
right.
I mean,
Well,
I
thank
did
you
a little,
for.
I did a live thing with her not long ago for the Book Buzz Expo. She was doing her presentation for Erie River, and she got me on to do a bit of live reading in the middle of it.
Yes.
Oh, it was great fun, but it was so funny sitting there backstage while Michelle's on, and I could see like her feed and all the rest of it, but they couldn't hear me. And and I was sitting in the back going, "That's brilliant!" Also, for all you Facebook type peoples out there, Natalie has a very, very, it's cool Facebook page. That is facebook.com/NM Brown. They're uppercase. NM Brown Stories. That's an S, an uppercase S there as well. Yeah, I'll put them there so people can like copy them down. What I'll also do, such an idiot. My high tech, Amazon.
No, I love it. It's a keepsake. It's a keepsake of
Exactly.
this
Do you know
of
what?
this
Actually,
episode.
before we go, give me 1 second.
That's fine. You're the one that has to look at my true face.
Yeah,
You looked
here we
into
go.
my dead light.
Yeah, here we go. I've still got these.
Oh yay!
Still got them from Scary Snippet Sibling Edition. Yeah.
I recognize them.
Yeah. Excellent. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on, Natalie. It's very great. This has been, I've loved it. You have to come back. So we'll
I would
organise
love it. I would love it, and I'll actually drink next time. So
Hey, well, you don't have to. It's not an obligation. It's more of a warning that I will be.
Perfect. Perfect.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for having me. I'm sorry that I got froze.
I'm sure it's not your fault.
My succubus face came out, and then there it is. Yeah. So, well, I hope you
Cool.
have a great night, and I can't wait to talk to you tomorrow.
Indeed.
Bye.
Yeah, I'll have this up in an hour or something. I'll give you a poke about it. Yeah. Cool.
Great.
Wonderful. Have fun with your chocolate eating. Bye-bye.
I will. I will. I'm not going to be online tomorrow. I'm going to have my hand in the toilet bowl. So, yay.
Thanks. Anyway, take care. Thank you. See you. Oh, yeah.